Hello there and welcome to Channel 7's Big League. We thought we'd seen the end of all the major upsets with the end of the competition, but no, after last week's two traumas, obviously matches are a week-to-week proposition. Well, St George and Parramatta fans have turned up in droves to see which side takes one spot in the grand final. For the loser of today's match, it's another go-round next week in the final against the winner of tomorrow's Canterbury-Cronulla clash. Now, St George are fully fit and refreshed after a week's rest. They still had their problems through the week. Classy winger Michael Sorodumi has been forced to withdraw with a leg trouble problem. However, the club are fortunate in their replacement, Steve Butler, a widely experienced utility back who would make a lot of other first-grade sides in Sydney. Good news through the week was the clearance given to quality centre Robert Finch, who survived X-rays on a damaged hand and will take his place alongside Graham Quinn. Possible tactics by Parramatta make this man, Brian Johnson, the focus of attention. Evidently, the Eels camp consider him vulnerable to the high bomb, and at times he has been. But then, try to show me a fullback this season in Sydney who at some stage hasn't been caught out. There's little doubt he will be tested early on. A good side, a strong side, and worthy minor premiers. It remains to be seen whether the week's rest has been advantageous. Parramatta played embarrassingly well last week. Embarrassing that was for Cronulla, but today's opponents, St George, are a slightly different proposition. The Saints have won both premiership clashes in '79, the second agonisingly when this Cronin kick hit the upright and rebounded into the field of play at Cumberland for an 18-19 loss. There's been some good and some bad news for the Eels fans this week. Little Artie, or Graham Murray, as their stocky half is known, has passed a fitness test and will play. However, Mick Patterson, 5'8", and a great improver in '79, is withdrawn with an infection and is replaced by veteran John Peard, who's played little first grade in the last two seasons. The Parramatta front row of Hilditch, Webb and Jay have got to take, in my view, a giant share of the credit for last week's devastating display. Each put in a maximum effort, and Webb personally covered himself in glory by halving the scrums with wily veteran John McMartin. One wonders for today whether the loss of Patterson is a massive blow. There's little doubt that Peard will do a highly professional job, but Patterson's attacking flair could be severely missed. And this is the St George side. Quickly onto the field they were. Brian Johnson, Mitch Brennan, Graham Quinn, Robert Finch, Stephen Butler, Tony Trudgett, Steve Morris, Rod Reddy, Graham Wynn, George Grant, Craig Young, Stephen Edge and Bruce Starkey. And the coach, of course, is Harry Barr. This is the Parramatta side. Gary Dowling, Neville Glover, Michael Cronin, Mark Levy, Graham Atkins, John Peard, Graham Murray, Ray Price, Lou Platts, Jeff Gerard, Ron Hilditch, Kevin Webb and Bob Jay. The coach, Terry Fernley. Well, these two men will play an enormous part in today's game. Morris for his sheer blinding speed and acceleration. Price for his ability to stop Morris as the lock forward in the Parramatta side. And his great mobility and work rate. I suggest you look for them in today's contest. The referee in today's fixture, Mr. Gary Cook. Away they go. Winner straight into the grand final. Loser around again next weekend in the final. And I don't think it'll be any place for the faint-hearted out there. Kick-off goes straight over the dead ball line. So tap restart from the centre of the quarter. Absolutely windless conditions here at ground level. Barry Ross.
Yes, there's no wind at all out here.
A little bit of final nerves there. The first error, Graham Wynn spilling the ball on the first tackle. Now look at the back lines, both of them. They could reach out and shake hands. St George have won it. Morris, Trudgett, half round his man, 10 metres out from his quarter line. Bruce Starkey takes it up, strong. Peard involved early, and number 14, Johnny Peard, hasn't played a lot of first-grade football in the last couple of years, Barry Ross.
No, I think last time he played first grade was in the semi-final replay against Manly last year, but he did play quarter of the season early in the year last year in first grade.
Harry Dowling caught in possession there. He's only about 8 metres out from his quarter from that kick through. Very interesting to see if Parramatta get themselves into an attacking position, whether Peard is used as a bomber.
Platts standing a little bit flat to do much about that. Got to stand deep and come on the burst. There's Levy. He gets a bit of a serve. It's out on the full, and a penalty's been awarded for a late tackle on Levy. I didn't think there was any doubt about that. He got taken out of the play after he'd kicked it by George Grant, I believe, number 10.
Yes, that's correct.
And he's being spoken to now, Grant, and that could have had dire repercussions. I thought it was an elbow. Be nice to lose a player with an elbow to the face early in the game. The referee didn't see it as badly as apparently we did. Now, let's see Parramatta tactics. Solid, strong tackling there as Robert J takes it up. Had a good tradesman-like game last week. Hilditch, former hooker. Now a prop on the Parramatta side. Gerard in one of those little runs he makes from dummy half that are so incisive. Platts has been living off those this year. He scored a number of tries off Gerard-inspired breaks. Platts, pass has gone astray. The ball is intercepted. It's knock on, of course. Don't worry about it. They still go on with the tackle as Butler gets sorted out the halfway line. Still no score. 5 minutes gone. Parramatta from right to left in the blue and gold uniform. St George in the white and red.
Look where both fullbacks were for that scrum.
Yeah. There's not much in the way of open football planned for the early part of this game. I promise you, they're all standing up very, very shallow. And I think that's 3 in a row in the way of scrums to St George. So Stephen Edge doing his job. Trudgeon. Webb trying to strike for that. Fails to make contact. Good one-handed pass there from Reddy. Brings play to the halfway line with Bruce Starkey. Morris. Graham Quinn. Platts out wide. And again Platts. Brennan was able to make a little forward progress, but that was the extent of it, about 3 metres. That St George backline now is directly in line with the, well, about a metre behind the lock. And that's 4 scrums in a row to Edge. Parramatta doing all the defending at the moment. Johnson chips into the line and well taken by Peard. Ready. Peard in again. Grant. Trudgett. Played 10 metres inside the Parramatta half. Edge. Morris. Craig Young straightening the attack. Hit hard by Gerard. And a penalty, the first of the match within kicking range. It's against Robert J. He's pointing specifically at J. And a touch judge we have in. And this will be to report Ray Price. And George Grant will take a kick at goal. You see that incident, Barry?
No, I didn't see the actual incident, but I did see Rod Reddy fall over in back play. I think he may have been tripped or something like that, but I didn't see Ray Price involved.
Well, his first caution, a fairly lengthy chat. Must have been seen.
Maybe it could have been earlier on, Rex. Reddy and Price had a bit of a set-to in back play 2 or 3 minutes ago down near the St George quarter.
Well, George Grant, who's done a great job for the St George side this year in the way of point scoring, just over 200. And a very sound goal kicker. Takes this kick from 10 metres outside the quarter. He's about 15 metres off centre. Windless. Perfect day for football.
Ray Price in his usual position.
Yes, that's become fairly pedestrian now. Nobody takes any notice anymore. Grant. Very strong striker of the ball and a correct goal kicker, I'm told, from those pundits of the past who were great goal kickers. He's hooked that away ever so slightly, just about 6 feet to the left. No score. 0-0. Well, Parramatta desperately need some possession. They've down 4-0 in the scrums. The penalties are 1-all. And Morris doing a double take with that little beautifully passed out to Graham Quinn. Up over halfway. Nice little stutter with his feet then. Morris stood the opposition still and then went again with that great acceleration of his. Graham Wynn. George Grant. Again, I thought just using an elbow a little bit as a fend, get him into a bit of strife, that one. Ask John Gray. Craig Young, just as well as I said last week, they don't penalise for the attacking side being inside the 5. Oh, they've come up with it, Parramatta. That's as good as the scrum window, Wed. Now, I'm interested to see, with Parramatta with enough possession or keeping the ball for a period of time, whether they evolve any tactic involving Pearn. Jay. Platts. It's been all St George up to now. Has been a suggestion, Barry Ross, that Michael Sorodimi may have been dropped specifically for this match, not because of his own lack of form, as Price makes a good bust up around halfway, looking for support. That sort of kangaroo hop style of his that jumps out of tackles. Penalty, ready's the man, being told to get off and leave him alone when tackle is called. And that'll be a penalty that is going to get them into a pretty useful attacking position. They're on halfway. There is a suggestion, continuing, that Michael Sorodimi may have been dropped for this match, not because of his lack of form, but because of the alleged thought by the Parramatta club that Johnson is suspect under pressure. And the inclusion of Stephen Butler as a fine utility player and former fullback, it would strengthen their chances with a high bomb. Did you hear anything in that respect?
Well, there was talk before the game. We'll get back to that in a moment, Rex, because I have Michael on the sideline here with me.
All right, well, let's see what Parramatta do with this opportunity. They're only about 18 metres away. And there's a spilled bit of possession from Murray. And there's a touch judge coming in now to report an incident. And you've got Michael Sorodimi.
Yes, I have Michael here. Michael, you pulled out today. Was it a leg injury or something?
Yeah, Barry, torn muscle behind the knee. Due come along pretty well at the beginning of the week and trained few sprints on Thursday night and had a bit of a talk with Harry, and I was still aggravated, more than 100%, you know.
There was talk before the game that because of Johnny Pear's inclusion, they may have brought Steve Butler in just for this game, because he did play well in the 1977 grand final. It doesn't mean that you're a bad player, just that he could switch back to fullback. Is there any truth in that rumour?
No, Barry, there was nothing in that story. I was, you know, if I was 100%, I would have been playing, you know. Just Steve is a good inclusion. We won't lose anything there. He handles the bombs pretty well, you know.
So he'll be back next time, maybe the grand final.
Well, I hope for sure, Barry.
All right, Michael Sorodimi. Incidentally, his name is spelt M-I-C-H-E-L, but he prefers Michael. And a very good wing three-quarter too. Referee Gary Cook handing out penalties at a pretty rapid rate now. 3-2 in Saints' favour after 12 minutes of play. That's a penalty every 2 minutes if my mathematics is fairly close. Still no score, and George Grant will attempt this one from about 8 metres short of the halfway. Could not get a better day. A little bit of blue sky peeping around and plenty of cloud about to just cool things down. I think the temperature would be about between 17 and 19. And almost windless conditions, just the flags just fluttering faintly in the breeze. Languidly, I think, would be the word to use. Grant. Struck that very well. It faded away to the right. Levy does a good job of getting the ball out to the quarter. That's a good run. What you'd expect from Levy. He is a very talented player. Gerard. Quick acceleration there. Big man, Gerard. He's the 15-stone area. Graham Wynn drove Platt sideways with that tackle. Peard now being used in general play. Kicks, and it's a fine end-over-end low trajectory punt that made him look very good with about a 22, 25-metre game. The old pro. The man that coined they coined the phrase the bomber about him. A little bit of how's your father going on there between the two props on this side. There's a penalty to Parramatta. Was Robert Jays the sort of bloke that wouldn't take a backward step if the entire German army was standing in front of him? And the prop he's marking there, Bruce Starkey, well, is a pretty rough nut too. I don't think he'd take a backward step under the same circumstances. Now, Parramatta have undone themselves twice. They've got into this situation and spilt the ball. Now they must retain possession. Nobody would know that better than their coach, Terry Fernley. There's Jay, sucking a few into him. Two to tackle him, quickly to his feet, plays it. Webb makes a nice little incursion. That's a good little run. Only about 8 metres away. Sucked a few people to him. Now they're putting on a move. Watch for the Murray pass. It's into Gerard. Gerard's got it back inside there to Ron Hilditch, who's gone perilously close to scoring. A good planned set-piece move. And they're a bit thin on the left-hand side. St George of the play switch, but no, they've gone open. Cronin throws a pass that goes to ground, and away they've gone again. And Fernley will be pulling his hair out by the roots. That's unprofessional. St George now with a Parramatta player lying down injured at the moment.
Probably Bob Jay.
Well, he's very still at the moment, but anyway, back with the football. The play is still in action with St George in possession 10 metres outside their quarter. Doing a good grafting job at the moment. Backs are noticeably standing a little deeper. Reddy gets a left foot kick away. It goes behind Atkins, bounces nicely for him on the point. Got nowhere to go there. Ton of defence, Graham Quinn and Robert Finch, the centres combined. Price, Murray, Cronin. Standing up in the tackle, but Levy couldn't get close to him to take a pass. Peard, Murray. Robert Jay still down being treated in back play by the Parramatta trainers. No score in this game. We've had 17 minutes of play. And they push him back 15 metres, and that's great forward defence from Edge and Craig Young.
Interesting to note, Rex, that on the sideline as a fresh reserve for Parramatta is Peter Wynn, and he sitting there, he's just been told to do some loosening up exercises, so maybe we'll see him in the front row.
Yes, well, that could be. He was set the world alight until he was injured. The trainer is signalling that they don't need a stretcher. Still no score in this game. We're halfway through the first half. Give you an error count shortly. Lovo doing his boot up in the background there. Let's have a look at this error situation. St George 3, Parramatta 3. Number of times each side's conceded the ball back to the opposition. Parramatta have won a ball. Glover from the wing came in to pick that off.
Apparently the Parramatta trainer just told me that Bobby Jay's got a bad knock to the head and bad concussion.
Murray. There's Peter Wynn. Showing plenty of vigour and trudge it on the receiving end of the hard knock. Gerard, lovely pass there to Platts. Platts unloads nicely to Cronin, who's left it behind. That's offside. That's unfortunate. the ball was picked up in an offside position by a Parramatta player, more as a reflex than with deliberate intent. And quite definitely inside, and we've got a player down injured now too.
Bruce Starkey, the St George prop.
High mortality rate on props out there at the moment. Examining his head, it may be that he's had a cut.
He may have got a knock from his teammate, Graham Wynn, who came in to tackle his brother. Accidental knock.
Yes, of course, that's something that hadn't registered with me. We've got two brothers playing against each other, Graham and Peter. Be interested to see if they come together at any stage. Brennan. Now St George in a good territorial position now to lay on a move. Not with that sort of football. As George Grant loses it, Parramatta have come up with it. Price, as you'd believe. Platts. A lot of one-out football being played at the moment by both sides. Murray. Win. Oh, the pass has gone astray. Should be a try. It is. Brennan score easy. Just a breakdown and play. And you don't give that fella any room because he's just too quick. St George 3, Parramatta 0. A breakdown on the halfway mark. Now let's see it again. Now here's the breakdown and play. Gary Dowling dropping it. The pass just being scooped up and given quickly to Mitch Brennan, and I think any first-grade winger in Sydney could have scored that try, but especially Mitch Brennan. Nicely picked up there by Graham Wynn. Unloaded well, one-handed. Nice, yes. Looks better from head on, doesn't it? I think Billy Bloggs could have scored that try. Full marks to Graham Wynn for unloading quickly.
There's George Grant receiving a treatment on the sideline here near halfway. It looks like an injury to the left ankle. Bruce Starkey having a very nasty head cut, a lot of blood in the back of his neck.
Well, I suggest Parramatta will be a bit shocked with that. The pass, I think, came from Murray to Dowling and wasn't well directed. It hit him on the shoulder. He made a bit of a meal of it, but there it was. Errors, human error, always the biggest factor in our existence, certainly on the football field.
And there's Harry Barr talking to Robert Stone, and he's gone to do a few exercises. Maybe we'll see a change in the St George side.
He's hooked that. Is it coming back? It is. My heavens, that's crept over in the left-hand corner. Well, 5-0. St George lead Parramatta.
Good effort from Graham when he set up the try and kicked the goal, Rex.
Yes, indeed. Wynn takes the ball well from the kick-off. Bit of quality football to take it over the head like that. Oh, Morris coming on the burst, but the pass was too high. If Parramatta come up with a ball, they'll play advantage. They don't, so it's a scrum. Plenty of hard stuff, plenty of vigour, plenty of pile-driving defence, but not much in the way of class attacking football from either side after 25 minutes. Another scrum winner, St George. Morris, Trudgett. Good defence there. Peard, combining with Cronin. Ready. Finch, lovely pass away to Graham Wynn, who's tearing upfield. 5 metres from halfway. Craig Young. Morris. Looking for one of those little darting runs. He gets to halfway, but he's picked off pretty easy there. Finch did well to take that. Ready again, kicking, finding an open space. Gary Dowling well across field, and that's found him a little bit wanting in positional play. And a good gain to St George through another left foot ready punt. There's the man. Well, that looked suspiciously like second row. I didn't think there was any doubt about it, but play proceeds with Parramatta in possession. And a penalty against St George for inside the 5. The Parramatta are going to have to lift themselves. They've contributed to their own downfall, dropping the ball in 3 situations when they were in attacking positions. Put on one move that went perilously close to bringing a 3-pointer near the posts. Gerard Murray. Oh, beautifully placed right through the middle. Looks for support, can't get a pass away. He's wrapped up by a surge of white and red on the quarter line, midfield. Now, Parramatta. That was a great bit of football. First real break made by a Parramatta player. Wynn, Gerard. Webb standing wide. Out there to Glover. Glover comes back infield. Away from the sideline. Gerard, about 15 metres out. Webb, Hilditch, straight, hard. Now there should be some sort of move put on the next tackle or the one after. Now Murray calling some shots out there on the open. Let's see what they do. Last tackle, Peards in position. Dummied, straight onto Cronin on the burst. Cronin, bang, hits the line. And he stopped only about 3 metres away. That was good stuff. Murray ran well, 7, 8, 10 metres sideways then and selectively gave it to one player coming on the burst. Cronin did very well. 5-0 St George lead. A try to Mitch Brennan, a goal to Graham Wynn. A scrum win now to St George. And that's a horrifying 6-2 count in the scrums to St George. Penalty. Graham Wynn. And his brother, is it? George Grant. Don't tell me the Wynn boys having a bit of a chop at each other. I think it was Graham Wynn and George Grant. Can we see that again? Came out of nothing. Now this is the way it started. There's George Grant, number 10. It's Reddy, the left and a right hand, and now Grant gets into Wynn from Parramatta. Common sense prevails with Glover coming in to hold Trudgett. The referee now back to action. Talking to Reddy, talking to Wynn. Price and Craig Young involved. The penalty goes St George's way. The crowd go boo. A towering kick and a good one. That's a very well done kick, about a 22-metre game. Brennan, run around move. Bath, the St George coach, live to bring Brennan into the play, midfield. He's so quick. If he makes the break, it shut the gate. Graham Wynn and Peter Wynn underneath him. Craig Young. 10 metres from halfway. St George grafting away pretty well, making territory. Trudgett. Last tackle coming up. Now Reddy, where is he? It's a grubber type kick. And that's another little territorial gainer. Just into the Parramatta half. Earlier games resulted in wins to Parramatta in both reserve and under 23s. Parramatta reserve grade won 14-9 over Balmain. Parramatta under 23s won 17-12 as Parramatta come up with a scrum win, long awaited. So that means that both the Parramatta sides in the earlier grades are in the grand final. Price, the dummy, skips through 1, 2. Good defence over there from Butler. Price keeps putting them back into these positions. Neville Glover. He's about 18 metres out now from the line. Peared. That's not a Peared kick, a good one. It went straight up in the air. It was blocked.
Morris come through very, very fast onto Peared then and blocked the kick before he could get away properly.
Well, it was just like giving the ball back to the opposition. It went straight up in the air, and I think Starkey caught it with the greatest of ease. Try again. 5-0 the score, St George's way. Try to Brennan, a goal to win. A kick from Reddy there. Doesn't find touch, finds Graham Atkins. Burst the first line, 10 metres, St George's side of halfway. Webb, Murray, Peared, Cronin, nicely to Dowling, but knocked on. Right on halfway, Murray will feed. Bath, the coach of the St George side, going through his 44th packet of cigarettes, I would think.
Jeff Gerard's gone into the front row for Jay, and Peter went into the second row.
And it's having a little bit of an effect with the set scrums. These scrums are 7-4 Parramatta's way. Murray pointing down there and saying, look at this, he won't get off him. Reddy is making a bit of a meal of getting off Parramatta players, I must say. That's a penalty. Peared is experienced into getting himself a penalty. Cronin now with his first attempted goal. He's about 11 metres short of the halfway line, St George's side. And not far off centre, about 3 metres off centre. Windless. Great crowd. Two very well followed clubs. We're doing our usual award today. The player we judge to be the best player on view from either side will receive $400, appear on the Sports Action show tomorrow and be judged along with all the others. The kick from Cronin is unsuccessful. Away to the left, not by much. Finch has it. Gets 10 metres into the field of play. 5-0 St George. At the year's end, not too far away now, and the season's end, we'll be judging the Controversy Corner panel on Sports Action, the Channel 7 Big League Footballer of the Year, and he'll be the recipient of a marvellous prize, a Ford Fairmont motorcar from City Ford. Also, we judge the best try of the match. The player judged to be most responsible will get $150, and that try will, all the others will be put in the barrel and be judged on the basis of excellence. And at the end of the year, the player most responsible for that great try, a Ford Escort gear from City Ford. Graham Quinn being penalised, failing to leave the tackle player alone. Cronin being called up again.
It's George Grant leaving the field perhaps, and yes, and Robert Stone at number 18 coming on.
Yes, Terry Fernley watches with interest as Cronin lines this kick up. He's also, I think, cognizant of the fact that Robert Stone has replaced George Grant. The error count is that. St George 5, Parramatta 6. This kick from Cronin directly in front, 11 metres out from the quarter line, strikes it well. It's a two-pointer. Parramatta first blood, St George 5, Parramatta 2. That makes Cronin's effort in this game and last week's 2 goals from 10 attempts. And we all know he can kick a lot better than that. About 3.5 minutes, perhaps, to half-time, or less. Very interested to see what this crowd is as the lady doctor escorts George Grant from the field. They didn't get ladies to escort them off in my day. Might have played longer. Gary Dowling. Parramatta now desperately trying to get the ball away, and Wynn has done one of his stupid pass. I don't know who's come up with that. I think it's a Parramatta ball and it's 6 to go. So Peter Wynn did really attempt a pass that was not on in that situation. Price has evaded one tackle. Incredible way he breaks tackles. Still there. Still up in the tackle. 10 metres outside his quarter. Cronin. Oh, Murray, I think. Graham Murray's handling has let him down on, I believe, 3 occasions. Spilt the ball. Not great passes to him, but 5-2. Robert Stone been playing very vigorously in the reserve grade for St George. The scrum only about 8 metres, 7 metres out from Parramatta's quarter. They've come up with it, so Murray's off the hook for dropping it. Gary Dowling. And the hooter goes in the background as Ray Price has a little kick over the top. Goes for the chase. The ball is there. He evades the tackle, does Morris. Morris brings it back to Platts. Big Platts has him wrapped up and on the halfway line. So at the half-time break, we've got a scoreline that reads St George 5, Parramatta 2. For St George, a very soft try to Mitch Brennan, well taken after good lead-up work by Graham Wynn, and one goal to Graham Wynn. For Parramatta, Michael Cronin, 1 penalty goal from 2 attempts. The statistics of the match, 7 scrums to 5 in favour of St George, after I think Edge won the first 4 on the trot. The penalties have gone 7-6 in St George's favour. So, a very interestingly poised match, and we'll be back in a very short order to bring you up to date with the second half of what promises to be a very, very tight game. 40 minutes away from a spot in the grand final for one of these sides. 5-2, St George lead. John Peard in action right from the outset. Peter Wynn. And that's the way to run onto the ball. Knocked the defender, Stephen Butler, flying, but he tenaciously hung on. Lou Platts taking the tackle. Parramatta are in a situation of having to make up a deficit. They're down 5-2. No changes on either side, Barry Ross?
No, none at all. They're both, sorry.
You're right, carry on. And in the dressing rooms they were saying?
Well, Harry Bath, he likes this methodical football that St George are playing. They've got to retain possession, keep mistakes to a minimum, and he thinks they'll go on and win the game. Whereas Terry Fernley, he wants to cut the mistake rate out and get some more weight in the scrum so they come up with more ball.
And a knock on there is, or a knock down from Stephen Morris has taken the edge off a bright attack from Parramatta. Indeed, one of the best bits of football they've put on. As Graham Murray started a little move up the blind side there that looked dangerous. St George have come up with the ball. Reddy standing out of the scrum. Trudgeon. Johnson, the fullback, was there, but he's now at dummy half. Stone slipping and falling. He's the replacement that came on for George Grant, and he is playing at number 18. Bruce Starkey. Robert Stone scored a try in the 1977 grand final win by St George. Incredible try. He sprinted away about 35 metres. On the halfway line, Parramatta running from left to right. Gerard. Platts swivels through one tackle. Webb, Murray, Webb. Hilditch has put it away. St George have got it. Trudgett's come up with it. Parramatta's handling has let them down in all sorts of ways today. Graham Wynn hurdles through a tackle. And it was just as well that Hilditch was around his boots there. That was going to be a long run if he'd not made that tackle. Ready. Quick hands. Trudgett diving well. Good hands. His own side of halfway now. They've lost a bit of ground. 5-2 the score. St George lead. St George in the white uniform with a red V running from right to left in possession. Morris, little kick over the top. Atkins takes it on the full nicely. And brought it back well. Well, that's a little bit of flair from Morris. Something different just to open up this opposition defence. Gary Dowling. Ball stolen from him. 6 to go, should be. Knock on, the referee says.
The loose ball went to Webb, and Webb made a slight knock on as he attempted to pick it up.
Scrums have gone 8-5, and a penalty goes to St George against Parramatta for not packing square on the scrum. And Graham Wynn will have his second attempted goal. Grant had 3, I believe. None from 3. Mick Cronin has been unsuccessful with one of his 2 kicks at goal. Mick Patterson, the Parramatta 5'8", who would have been in this game, I believe, is in the hospital at Wentworthville, the Wentworthville Community Hospital. No doubt he'll be watching. In anguish at this point. Good luck to him. We've already spoken to the other dropout, Michael Sorodimi, who Barry Ross spoke to in the first half. About 18 metres out from the quarter midfield. Wynn's kick is just unsuccessful. Away to the right, always had a low trajectory. The score then remains St George 5, Parramatta 2. Well, Peard's only attempted 1 kick in this game, Barry Ross. One as a bomb, that is.
Yes, I think they're using him as a decoy. Earlier in the game, he went wide of the field and the ball went back up the middle. And I think the St George defence were looking at Peard too much, and that was when Gerard nearly put the ball up to Hilditch to score.
Peter Wynn unloads nicely to Platts. So they're about 28 metres out with 5 tackles remaining. Murray. Peard. Dowling running a bit sideways. Reddy again getting tied up with the tackle player. Hilditch stopped. The bounce was a good one for Levy. Levy going nicely. Running backwards there with his back towards the opposition, but still made ground. Gerard unloads. Peard. Wynn juggled it. Elected to go on his own. Gets a pass back now to the Platts. Platts away to Cronin. Cronin through the dummy and kept the ball nicely. About 13 metres out. Tackled, the referee calls. Now Peard will get a kick up. There it goes. It's a good one. They're onside. Johnson's dropped it. Who's got it? Wynn's gone away with it, but it's a penalty. Let's see what he penalised. Must have been offside. Johnson must have touched the ball, and Wynn came from an offside position and picked it up. And he was away. Let nobody joke about that. He's got a bit of pace. Here's the replay. Now Peard, on one of the rare occasions he's put up a kick, and what a good one it was. They all appeared onside. Now there's number 9. Johnson touches the ball there. It goes sideways and forward, and of course Wynn standing in an offside position, in other words in front of the last man of his own team who touched the ball, got a fortuitous bounce and was off upfield. Good decision by Cook. Barry Ross, has anyone thought of a draw?
Well, let's hope that doesn't eventuate. There'll have to be extra time if there is.
Graham Wynn kicks the Mick Cronin kicks the goal, and it's only a 1 point the diff. 4-5. 2 goals from 3 attempts to Mick Cronin. St George won both the premiership rounds this year. Hilditch took that well. St George player down on the back play as Peter Wynn comes on the burst. Wynn has injected certainly a bit of forward get up and go on this Parramatta side. Long pass out to Price, evades 1, 2. Little kick has been put through. The referee says play on. And St George have come up with it, so they've played the advantage. And Price has stolen the ball and he's been penalised. His pass to Atkins must have been kicked forward after a knock-on, I believe, because the referee appeared to be playing the advantage rule there. Win. Not much of an angle to kick for, but he made about an 8-metre gain. 5-4, St George lead. St George back standing a little deeper now. Morris switches it. Beautiful pass to Johnson, came on the burst. Nicely out to Brennan. Brennan's got pace. He's up the sideline, still going, loses the ball. It'll be ruled forward. One of the rare occasions he's been given a bit of room, and he looked electrifying. Parramatta man Hilditch down at the moment to receive attention, repeating the scores in the earlier games. Reserve grade, Parramatta 14, Balmain 9, Parramatta 17, East 12 in the under-23s. Both the Parramatta lower grade sides are in the grand final. Replacement getting ready on the sideline.
Wayne Woodward,
who's played a lot of first grade football this year. When Hilditch was out, he's been told to warm up. I think now he's gone up to sit next to his coach, Terry Fernley. And there he is, number 22. Tough, nuggety little man. Only a youngster, Barry Ross. What do we know about him?
yes, well, as you said, he did play a lot of first-grade football early when St George, Parramatta had all those injuries with their prop Folling, Beecham and so on. He's a local junior, played 3 years in grade football, I believe.
Well, another scrum win, and there it is, 4-0 the scrums in the second half. And they are 11-5 in St George's favour at the moment as Reddy tries to do one of his stand up and unload the ball late routines. Craig Young. Graham Quinn. Gerard hanging like a limpet. On the blind side to Craig Young. Young's made a break and a good one. Platts comes from behind, takes him. And they're all wrapped up only a couple of metres away. Desperate stuff now as Brennan gets up to play the ball. There'll be a penalty unless they clear him. Graham Quinn caught by one leg. They're only about, 4 metres out, 5 perhaps. Trudgett. Crossfield comes Graham Wynn. He gets a pass away nicely to Reddy. Reddy stands up in the tackle back to Trudgett. Trudgett's got it away. Who's in? It's a try, is it? The referee has awarded a try. And is it Robert Stone that scored it?
Yes.
I think Robert Stone's the man that's come up with the three-pointer beside the post. And this is the way it started. There would have been a penalty there if they'd not allowed him up, but went on for a little bit long that morning. Good work there from Graham Wynn. Then to Reddy, again well unloaded. Trudgett backed up nicely on the inside. Robert Stone, number 18, used his power. Swivel there, a full pirouette. And the referee, look how well placed he is, right behind. From head on and look this way. And we'll see exactly what the referee saw. Shall we say a referee's eye view of the try. Now there's a bit of clever stuff from Wynn. And now Trudgett and Stone. What's the big pirouette? Well, did he lose the ball? Did he lose the ball? It's in the record book, and as they say in rugby league circles, look on the scoreboard or read the papers and see the score. But that might have an element of doubt about it, right beside the post. I wonder, could we, through my director, have a look at just the desperate last stage of that as Stone put it down after this kick. There's the kick at goal from Graham Wynn. It's successful. A scoreline then that reads St George 10, Parramatta 4.
Player still down in the background near halfway. Rex, he's out of the scrum.
Well, Graham Wynn down injured in the back play. I'd like to have seen the head-on shot of that try too, or that near try. Penalty being awarded to St George. Do we see that again? No, carry on. We'll go with the action here at the moment because Parramatta are desperately close to the line. Price. Now, he's often got up and played the ball forward in this situation, but not today. St George have only got to be back to the line. They don't have to be back 5 metres. Platts. Well tackled, right round the boots. Crowd like the ocean's roar in the background. Gerard steps. And it's a penalty. 19 minutes of the second half gone. They'll have to take the kick at goal. It'll be futile not to. Cronin will come across. Players down, or a player, Gerard, receiving attention. Now here's the head-on shot of that Glover near try. Now Levy made the break. We're going to slow the action down. At this point we're slowing down. Well, the touch judge, I'm pretty sure, was right. The corner post went with the dive. You'd have to be a computer to dispense with a touch judge in that position. Cronin's kick is successful, and that again gets Parramatta back into this game. That's 3 goals from 4 attempts to Mick Cronin, and their credentials that are pretty good. (10-6). St George lead. And the error situation at this point, St George 12, Parramatta 11. A number of times each side has conceded the ball back to the opposition. Price always makes ground, even sometimes after he's tackled. Gerard, hard. Parramatta obviously now thinking in terms of getting straight ahead. The forwards taking the ball up and trying to plug holes close to the ruck. Murray, Price. Little Kevin Webb crawling on his hands and knees there. Lost a bit of ground on that tackle. Well, that was well taken by Murray. Atkins. And that's the 6. 2 players from this game that have been terribly involved. Ray Price from Parramatta, their skipper, and Graham Wynn. The St George second rower will be in sports action tomorrow on Channel 7's big sports action show on Controversy Corner. That penalty goes to St George against Webb for loose arm. Packing with one arm not around the shoulder of one of his props. And we'll be very interested to hear what both of them got to say. Both have had very involved games today. Sunday morning replay tomorrow morning on the Big 7. You can see half the West Canterbury game. When I say half, it'll be an edited version. All the highlights will be in it. All the great Canterbury football. We had to look very hard to find any good Western Suburbs football, but what there was we've found. And you'll see an edited version of this game. That'll fill the hour, preceding sports action. St George. Trudgett Back inside, Quinn. Morris evades one tackle, that of Platts, but picked off by Peter Wynn. Cuts out a man. Robert Finch. Nicely to Johnson, then to Reddy. Reddy with a little kick through. Taken well by Dowling. Dowling confronted by a wall of white uniforms, has nowhere to go but down. Again, Reddy taking a power of time to get off. He could be penalised on numerous occasions for his slowness getting off the tackle player. Gerard. Hilditch, who trails Gerard all day. Murray, Peard. One would suspect Johnny Peard wouldn't have the pace to get on the outside of any of those St George backs and run away. Last tackle coming up. It'll be a kick. Will it? Peard. Now they keep the ball. Levy. Atkins. Pass has gone astray. It's been knocked by a St George player. The pass has gone free. The ball's gone free. St George have it through Gary Dowling. He brings it up nicely towards the quarter line. Good break from Dowling. Levy. Oh, yes, he stepped his way clear. Going to the halfway, a wild swinging arm there. Could have been a penalty, but the referee is keeping the impetus for Parramatta going as Gerard comes. The pass has gone astray. Picked up on the first bounce by Platts, who's striking it away. Oh, he's going like a train. And Johnson pulls up a top-line tackle there. The referee says get away from him or there'll be a penalty. Wynn strikes at it. 6 to go. The referee says no, it's a penalty. Oh, it's a knock-on. One would have thought he'd have been penalised for falling on the ball in a ruck. I disagree with that. He reached round, knocked the ball out of the dummy half's hands, and I would have thought that would have been a penalty for falling on the ball in a ruck. And now to compound the error, St George come up with the ball. All the great work by Levy undone. There's a change of possession. The referee says, well, what's it going to be? It has to be a penalty to St George, surely. Well, why not allow? I don't understand that ruling. That's, to me, a bad ruling again. If the ball is stolen, it's a penalty. If they get away with it and it's not illegal, they should be allowed to keep the ball. Instead, he put down a scrum. Price. Well, there it is, the line, only 5 metres away. Webb, Murray. Parramatta got a bundle of moves around this area. Well, what can they do? Webb just goes in his own and nearly found a hole. There it is, about 4.5 metres. 10-6 the score, St George's way. Murray, Dowling, the fullback, chiming in. He's about 2.5 metres away. A little bit further when you look from the side-on shot. Cronin off a Peard pass. And Johnny Peard has earned his medals tonight for that one pass. Let's see it again. And here it comes. Beautifully held up professional football pass to a big strapping man coming on the burst. Beside the post. Watch it again. Could have been a little bit of shepherding, but the referee has taken the odds to that, and Cronin just said thank you and knocked Johnson right out of the way, and that's beside the post. And now he will convert his own try. One feels sure. But this massive crowd of half of them are quite delighted, half of them are stunned. Barry Ross, Mick Cronin has scored all the Parramatta points, which suggests that he doesn't blow up under pressure.
Yes, that's right, because there was a story in an afternoon newspaper saying that he couldn't kick under pressure.
Well, there he is with another one that's put him in front, so it's 11-10. He's going to kick for touch. that is a pretty useful kick. Now Parramatta back on the rack. 6 minutes to go. Our clock will stop not too far distant future. Now, what can St George do? Switch of play to Morris. He's evaded 1, 2. Long floating pass out to Butler. Butler goes hard and straight, the only way he knows. He's only 5 metres away. Parramatta in desperate straits at the moment. The ball is kicked through, but it's 6 to go. Edge, Trudgeon, goes sideways. Platts and Murray are there to put him away. Peard waves them out, the defenders. Graham Wynn, that's a good, solid, beefy run. He's only about 4 metres away now from the goal line. The crowd in the MA Noble stand erupting at the moment. The sound of... There's on the burst. It's a try. Is it underneath the post? The referee says no. Get up and play it. Starkey to his feet. Out it goes. Stone. The pass back to Craig Young. Long floating pass out to Brennan. Brennan unloaded to Quinn. Quinn weaves and dodges. Only about 10 metres away. Parramatta defence stretched to the limit, but still holding. Brennan evades 1. Still going. He's a danger. Last tackle coming up. Bit of panic there in St George. Players pushing each other out of the way. Ready. Morris. Morris. And he's there. It's a time beside the post. Despite the close tackle. A good try. A full stretch try. Let's see it again. Graham Quinn quickly to his feet. Edge, the pass to Reddy, then to Morris. Look at him stretch out that little tiny body. And the one arm from head on, it'll look just as good. One of many tries he scored this year, but he'll never score a better one. The full stretch. And right at the death of the game, Parramatta defence folded. So, into the last 4 minutes. A try beside the post to Steve Morris. Well, one can deduce, Barry Ross, from the way this St George side struck back, retained possession in that last critical few moments as Harry chews and chews away. I think he's hand smokes his way through another packet.
All the emotion of the afternoon just came out for Harry when Morris went for that try. He jumped up in the air and moved his arms around, a big broad grin.
Yeah. Well, I think we can quite definitely deduce that St George are the stuff of which champions are made. Given the opportunity, time out and then time on again as Graham Wynn takes the odds to this kick. 13-11 the score. St George lead, an easy kick. And it's successful. So then the score moves on to 15-11. 15-6 the scrums. Is that 13-6? In St George's favour. That's a very big performance by Stephen Edge. There's the error situation. St George 13, Parramatta 12. As Dowling comes up the blind side, he positioned himself well before there. There's Reddy doing the same old business of not getting off the tackle player. Platts. Webb. Peard. Peter Wynn. Back to Peard. Peard says, oh, I'll go for a trot myself. And very nearly gets 2 or 3 probably through that, I think.
Time to...
Gerard. Murray wrapped up. He's out among the centres there, and easy pickings for the defence. Robert Stone was the man. Dowling, a high kick. Butler surges in. Johnson takes it well. The crowd rise to him. Well, he's had a mixed day in that bag. Only put under pressure on a couple of occasions with kicks. He fell badly on one occasion. Failed badly, that is, and on the other occasion took it well. About a minute and a bit to go, Barry Ross.
Yes, that's right. Because Johnson not only took that bomb well, Rex, he made 2 good try-saving tackles today too.
Yes, he's had a pretty top game. Another scrum win to Stephen Edge for St George. This has been a real shellacking in the set scrums. 13-6. Yep. 14-6. 14-7. That's 2-1, and that is a big beating for any first grade hooker to have perpetrated against him. 15-11. St George lead. Ready. And a penalty against Reddy for using the forearm across the face of a fallen opponent. Hilditch gets up and has a few things to say. Now it's pointless kicking for a goal. Price will kick. They'll need to get on with what they're going to do. They don't need to deliberate too long. They're going to run right out of time. He'll kick for touch. It's a good kick for touch. It mightn't necessarily give them 6 tackles, but it'll give them a couple of tackles, I think. Now, can Parramatta come up with something desperate? There it is, Levy's kick, left footer high in the air. Johnson flies, fails to take it. Parramatta have got it, and there's the hooter in the background. That's the end of the section. 15-11. St George have come up with a win. They are straight into the grand final. The Parramatta side go round against the winners of tomorrow's Cronulla Canterbury game, but the try scorers in this game have been, for the St George side, Mitch Brennan, Steve Morris and Robert Stone. The replacement, Graham Winters, kicked 3 goals from 4 attempts. For the Parramatta side, all the points have been scored by Mick Cronin. A try and 4 goals from 5 attempts. So first-class performance by Mick Cronin. There's the scoreline: St George 15, Parramatta 11.
Our award winner today was Graham Wynn, the big St George second-row forward who had a hand in 2 tries and I thought played a splendid all-round game. Was one of those players that was able to make breaks through some very, very tight Parramatta defence. I thought all round he had a first-class game, but there were some very good performances indeed by, of course, that St George are straight into the grand final for 9 weeks rest, and Parramatta have to go round again next week. Plan. Incidentally, we'll be having Graham Wynn and Ray Price, the Parramatta captain, on Controversy Corner, so you'll be able to hear what they've got to say about the game. Tomorrow evening in our normal Channel 7 big league time slot of 6:30 through to 7:30, we'll be showing you what I think is going to be a top game of football, a very downside. Go